Hey everybody, I just wanted to take some time to discuss some of the titles that were announced this month in September 2022 that I'm just the most excited to have actually come out and release. This month featured a number of different video game shows and a number of different titles that were announced. Some of these shows included the NintendoDIRECT on September 13th, the Sony State of Play on the same day, and of course the Tokyo Game Show from Thursday, September 15th through Sunday, September 18th. My favorite games overall are RPGs, platformers, and general retro. My picks here aren't going to be too much of a surprise. Regarding the Nintendo Direct, there was a good showing overall, though I was disappointed that there was no news about the Metroid Prime 1 remaster, as there were a lot of the industry insiders that were hinting about it and have been hinting about it for a while. There was no reveal of a DK game at all that's been rumored for the longest time. To my knowledge, this is the one that is being worked on by the Super Mario Galaxy team. We don't know if it's going to be a 2D or 3D game, and the villain is going to be King K. Rool again. There was a tease of F-Zero news, I believe from the Snitch, and it was really disappointing that this wasn't discussed at all. And also, 6 titles in the Nintendo Direct were farming sims. This is an evidence of the Stardew Valley Animal Crossing effect, but that type of genre just doesn't interest me. Never got into doing errands and chores. If I want to do errands and chores, I've got my real life to do that. So for my first game that caught my interest is Fire Emblem Engaged. It was the first game that was shown on the Nintendo Direct, and I was glad to see the game being formally announced. Screenshots of it, of course, had leaked out some time ago. The main character kind of reminds me of Aquafresh toothpaste. Three Houses was really great. That was the first of the tactical RPG Fire Emblem games that was released on the Switch. But honestly, I'm getting really tired of that RPG school trope, and the Fire Emblem Engaged looks very vibrant and clean looking with the graphics. The next game that I was excited to see was Octopath Traveler 2. Can I just say yay? I love the 19th century aesthetic, and it appears to continue the turn-based battles, which a lot of people don't like the random encounters these days, but I don't mind it since I'm old and old school. A number of gender swaps for the main characters have occurred for the game's classes. For example, the merchant class was a young girl in Octopath Traveler 1, and in Octopath Traveler 2 it looks like it is an older gentleman. Unlike the first entry, it appears the characters talk to one another during main storyline events, as opposed to being relegated to sidebars. And the characters' names also maintain the name acronym of Octopath title itself. Now, the next game that I'm really interested in that was revealed, and this was the last reveal for Nintendo Direct, was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, is this Tears or is this Tears? Now, the small trailer itself showed cryptic story elements, like 10 seconds of gameplay, the title itself, and the release date. Just a reminder that more time has passed between Breath of the Wild 1 and what's going to be the release date for Breath of the Wild 2 than when Breath of the Wild 1 released versus compared to Skyward Sword. For the next thing, the NSO service featured more Nintendo 64 games, and I was happy to see that they actually gave a good roadmap for the upcoming game releases. But of course, GoldenEye 64 finally being announced, and this is one of the worst kept secrets that a lot of us have been waiting to be released and announced. Apparently it was supposed to be announced in August for the 25th anniversary, but the Russia conflict delayed it, much like how Advance Wars 1 and 2 was delayed. No release date was announced for GoldenEye here in the States, but in the Japan Direct it just was stated 2023. And it was interesting too, it's also announced to be released on the Xbox Series system, up-resed to 4K display, though it doesn't have online multiplayer like the Nintendo Switch version does. And honestly, I'm not totally crazy excited for this, as It'll just likely be the 4-player split screen for the online multiplayer. So, screen watching is a thing, and, you don't pick odd job, of course. And myself and people in my age group grew up playing this game. We're going to realize that playing it again, a lot of the concepts didn't really age that well, especially the graphics. The Nintendo Direct also showed the release date for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, which is December 13th, 2022. And the game looks like an amazing remaster from what the PSP was. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it on the big screen. And I'm going to be getting the physical copy for the Switch, and then I'll download it digitally for my PS5. And the next thing I'm just super excited for, Resident Evil coming to Nintendo Switch in the best way, cloud form. That's right, it's going to be the best version ever. Not. Yeah, no. I don't care about this because cloud gaming is absolute garbage right now. I don't anticipate this improving anytime soon, as Nintendo doesn't have the best server integrity, especially in the US, and overall internet infrastructure for high-speed internet in the US as well, on average, is pretty poor. I would love to dive deeper into that as a topic, but that's probably going to be its own video, and honestly, it's probably going to get a little bit political. What I am excited for is the Tales of Symphonia remaster being announced. Now, this was originally released on the GameCube, and unfortunately I missed it as I spent most of my time during the GameCube age playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. I heard that Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Vesperia are some of the best games in the Tales of series. I just played Tales of Arise last year and I loved it. I'm not a huge fan of the chibi art style, especially after playing the realistic style of Arise, but again, I'm pretty optimistic that this is going to be a great game. Now, regarding the PlayStation State of Play, the games overall looked great, and it was really high quality. I felt that the State of Play overall, a lot of people were underselling it, but overall I thought it was really good. It was a great display, 10 games in 20 minutes, although not too many of them caught my eye personally. And again, I'm sorry, Tekken and God of War fans. For me, Like a Dragon Ishin looks fun, and the time period itself in Japanese history that this captures is something that really catches my eye overall. It's a Yakuza spin-off that originally released on the PS3 and PS4 and apparently never came to the West. It looks fun, especially if it's anything like Yakuza Like a Dragon. Now, I haven't played that yet, Yakuza Like a Dragon, but it's on my backlog, and I've heard it's a turn-based RPG, which is kind of a spin from how Yakuza games normally go. Another game, Rise of the Ronin. What a surprise! Another game featuring around the same time period as Like a Dragon Ishin, but it's made by Team Ninja, and it's more an action RPG, and that one looks promising as well. One of my favorite all-time movies is Last Samurai with Tom Cruise and Ken Watanabe. I love that time period of Japanese history, and I definitely look forward to diving into both of these games. Regarding the Tokyo Game Show, it pretty much featured additional gameplay and additional information about games that were coming, but what was announced was Konami stating Suikoden 1 and 2 remakes. Now, I just released a video recently about games that need remakes, and I stated the second entry of this on the top of my buddy Hardika's list that needs to get remade. I saw a lot of negative response online from individual fans that didn't like the way this looked, but honestly, I thought the footage of these remakes looked really well. The sprites looked like how they were on the original PS1 version, and the backgrounds itself looked great. The music sounds fantastic, and while I've never played the series before, I'm excited to get into these. Again, during the time of the PS1, PS1 was really known for its RPGs and other types of games, but I unfortunately avoided the PS1 because I was really heavy into the whole Nintendo fanboyism and was stuck playing the Nintendo 64 games and everything on there. But anyway, I digress. These are all the standouts that I'm into from this month's overall announcements and shows. I really look forward to getting more info on all of these games, and it definitely made sure to pre-order a number of them. Now, what were the best announcements that you thought came from September 2022? Let me know in the comments, like and subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and thanks again for tuning in.